Welcome back to Us Against Everything. And today we have me, Liz, and Landon.
What's up, everybody?
And it's us against predators online. Unfortunately, this is a growing trend and has been going since Google was born.
Pretty much since the internet's been out, yeah.
Even before that, sadly, we've had predators.
Oh, yeah, we've had predators since before then, but like online trading of photos and videos.
Yeah, it's true. Predators just approached people in public as well. And unfortunately, it's much easier to do it online, sadly enough.
Yeah, anyone can claim to be anyone online, and we've seen a lot of it with the recent roadblocks.
It's disgusting, honestly. We got to watch our kids. Well, today, this particular subject is for adults only. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Definitely not for your kids.
We need to be aware for ourselves and our kids and to warn anyone else who might be in this predicament, because you never know who may be a victim here, and that's the scariest part. You may not have heard about this. You may have heard parts of it, but we're going to go and start a deep dive. Now, we're talking about the Online Predator Academy. This is not a single crime case with one defendant and one victim. It is a large investigation, basically looking into the online system where men are allegedly sharing videos of unconscious women being sexually assaulted, discussing how to hide it and circulate that material across a porn site and private Telegram groups.
So some of the other information that has come out, that their numbers that they're giving us, is this specific online predator group, 62 million views and logins in just the month of February alone.
We're going to get into that piece of it as well. But for those of you who do not know what a Telegram group is, it is an invite-only or restricted group on a messaging app, Telegram, where members can chat and share files, links, photos, videos, and other content. Private generally means that they're not openly searchable and require like an invite and link to join.
Getting trickier and trickier.
And from what I gather, although some can be traced, some cannot. And that's also equally scary. So CNN had described in March of 2026, reports described as month-long investigation into this hidden network of men sharing tips about drugging and assaulting women, including their own wives, by the way. Like, what the fuck?
I think that's the thing that's making people, I mean, the whole thing makes them mad, but the most mad is like you're drugging your own wife or girlfriend.
And exploiting.
Right, exploiting them and then choosing to sexually assault them.
And then teaching other people how to do it.
Exactly, and then laughing about it on online forums.
Well, the investigation has focused mostly on the porn site motherless.com. And it is a porn site that reportedly gets over 60 million visits a month.
Disgusting.
Right. And CNN says the site contains thousands of videos featuring women who appeared unconscious during sex acts, and that most of its users are based in the US.
Not shocking. Not shocking.
One tag was so disturbing. It was #ICheck. Now they have like codes for everything, which does not surprise me because Epstein had codes for everything, describing in the report as a way of proving a woman was asleep. Nuts, right?
Absolutely bonkers. I'm unsure why this country is so gung-ho for like sexual assault. I don't understand. And
Oh.
like we're doing nothing about this.
Me either. And then the focus on the other side is the immigrants. Yeah, it's the immigrants doing this shit.
Right. That's the thing that I don't get the most is these people are US citizens, and these people, some of them are in high government offices, and we're just ignoring stuff like the Epstein files and stuff like this. And we're like, screw women, screw children.
It's all fake. It's just fake. Speaking of fake, basically they are creating a fake identity, gaining access to this private Telegram group. And this particular Telegram group nearly has 1,000 members dedicating to sharing the kind of sleep content. There is a man called Pieter now directly messaging the reporter and admitting that he had been crushing pills into his wife's drink to rape her in her sleep. What? How are you not behind bars? And he's so bold to say it out loud.
Right. And I mean, a lot of them are getting this encouragement.
You're a woman here listening to this episode, and beside you could be a man who's actually hurting you. Like, it's so scary.
Yeah, I saw a post online the other day that said women can't even trust their husbands to give them a drink of tea.
Right. Now, this was traced to a man in Poland as well, and they located him in a person at a party. He reported his findings to the police rather than confronting his wife directly because of the risk of her safety. So this one guy in Poland did this. Now, the Telegram group actually disappeared, but that is a pattern authorities also know. One group goes offline, another resurfaces. It just means they got too much traffic there, and it was because
too popular.
Right.
So they had to shut it down to start all over again.
Now, the part that matters most is people online are like flattening it or trying to flatten it anyways. The report points out that the site traffic technically does not have proof that 62 million people, 62 million separate men were in one rape forum or personally watched illegal assault issues, just that the site has 62 million members in it. But I believe that the number is a hell of a lot closer to 62 million than 1,000.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. There's a lot, unfortunately, there is a lot of sick men, sick cisgender men out there.
And you know what? Just because you're going in one area, you might pop in there, look at a video, and then leave. Not that you're staying there and waiting and watching all these videos all the time, but there's definitely a peak.
I agree to that. Like, maybe not all, they're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Not all 62 million people are, like you said, diving deep and watching every single video and doing creepy things to it and downloading it. There could be people who just so happen to be looking for something else, and then they popped along onto this and they were like, oh crap, and they got away from it.
Pretty much. And I can only imagine like how many people are submitting videos. Like there were 1,000 videos, and that's just what's accounted for.
Right, and that's all they're telling us right now. We don't even know that there could be more than 1,000.
And that's only on Motherless as well. I can only imagine what the number would be on Pornhub.
Or any of the other ones. To be completely honest, there's so many out there. Like there is thousands of different ones out there, and new ones come up every single day. And once you put a video on the internet, it's on there forever. It's like very difficult to get rid of a video.
A digital footprint. Let's talk about one particular woman who experienced this. Now, she came out with bravery and shared her story, although her confession technically did not happen until after her husband confessed first. Reports indicated that he told her directly, including the allegation that he had been putting her son's sleeping medication in her tea. Which is insane because from her side, this was not initially described as something she caught through suspicion alone, but something that shattered her understanding of her marriage because he decided to share that with her. I honestly get this really disturbing feeling that he knew he was about to get caught. And I think he wanted to see the look on her face. Like, I think he wanted to break her a little bit more.
Of course he did.
She reportedly kept it secret at first to protect her children.
women always thinking about the children, whereas men don't think about anything but their second head.
Right, because as a mom, you got to be like, okay, do I really want my child's father to be put in jail and then I'm the reason that happens?
Yes, if they're doing things like this, yes, sadly, I'm sorry to say that, but yes, why would you want your child to love somebody who is willingly going out there and drugging their mother and then
using
raping them and then putting that
medication.
video on there and using the kid's medication and then putting it on the internet? Yes, that is a sick person that needs help. Yes, sorry, you're not allowed around my child.
Well, she could not emotionally handle it anymore. She ended up having a panic attack. And
that's the least of our worries, is her having a panic attack. Like, good. Hopefully she doesn't go out there and get so angry that she ends up doing something crazy.
Right. Well, she did, and that was the turning point for her. She later told her sister that led her to the police involvement. Now, the person beside her in bed was, according to her account and conviction, the person harming her. The nightly tea routine, even the word rape became extremely difficult for her to say. Why would you want to use the word rape? Because you're married. That's not supposed to happen.
As somebody who is a survivor, I can definitely relate to her saying the word rape was difficult, because a lot of women are told that, like, oh, you're married, so it's not technically rape because you're married to this person. They're allowed to have sex with you whenever they want. No, that is simply just not true. If you don't want to, you don't have to. No, I'm not in the mood. I don't feel like it. Those are all valid reasons to not want to. And somebody going and breaking that that barrier of marriage and just assuming that, oh, because I want some, I'm going to get some without consent now, because you're drugging somebody to do these things to them without their knowledge.
Like, that does not show love in any capacity.
No, it's no love. That is control and misogynistic.
Right. And I can only imagine how he would feel if that was done to him.
Oh, it would be an uproar. If this was reverse and men were the ones who were going through this and women were doing this to men, all women would be jailed and put in prison camps.
Yeah, we would all be Eileen Warnost.
Basically, everyone would be executed, all women.
Not only doing this privately, but sharing this with the entire world, he was basically in control of something. What exactly happened on the site, specifically for her? Men were sharing advice on how to drug partners, including her partner. Tutorial-style coaching from their experienced users. Advice on how to avoid detection, like, oh my God. Sharing and monetizing abuse imagery. Criminal behavior is encouraged rather than challenged. Hooray. And that's why Zoe became a center of this discussion. Her case appears to resonate with many people because she had the drugging, the restraining, the photographs, the marital betrayal. And that's very important. So do not blame yourself if this is going on. Now, this does not automatically prove her husband was participating in these groups, but honestly, I believe he was.
Obviously.
I believe he enjoyed these other men showing him his work and being proud of it like it was a conquest.
It's fucking sick.
It does. It makes me sick to my stomach, which brings me to the next case for Amanda Stanhope. Now, with Amanda, her story is a little bit different. Amanda had been described as an experienced episode of unexplained unconsciousness and blackouts, along with waking up with injuries and bruises and signs something might have happened, and really just not understanding why. I think she was in denial, as somebody might be, because it is normal to every once in a while to wake up with some random bruises, but this looked like it was constant.
I wake up with bruises all the time, but definitely not constant.
Reports suggest that she came to believe that this had been happening over years. Some accounts reference like 5 years.
Fucking sick. So sick.
And that realization for Amanda was enormous. Amanda got the upper hand here. She was able to report her partner to the police. And that could be especially difficult involving any memory disruption because, let's face it, she was drugged.
And they don't see you as a credible witness, obviously, because you were drugged, so you don't even remember the whole story.
Exactly. And she had a lot of gaps in her memory. Her partner was charged, but died by suicide before trial.
Of course, yep, taking the bitch way out.
Right, that fucking piece of shit.
Won't even acknowledge or admit to his crimes, just takes himself out because he can't handle what might happen to him, even though what he's been doing to his own partner for years.
Yeah, you know what? It's like they don't want to deal with the backlash of the situation, and like you said, took the pussy way out.
No accountability. That's what all these people do, is like they want to do the crime but don't want to pay the time for the crime that they are choosing to commit.
Well, Amanda later spoke out publicly to connect it to like a broader investigation in aligning online networks, encouraging drugging and assaulting, which, I mean, that's amazing. And might I add, in the process of when the police reviewed the videos with her, but she said that the police said that one video was not clear evidence because it looked like she might be pretending to be asleep.
If a cop ever said that to me, I would turn around and bitch slap him right across the face. In fact, I'd probably punch him. If I was Amanda, I would slap him. Like, how dare you say that to me?
Right. Can you imagine sitting there with a piece of evidence, right? And you're watching this uncomfortable video of yourself being raped by your husband with a cop, and the cop is telling you that it doesn't look real?
And this is where my point comes to. This is what makes me so mad, because all of these people online, whether they're a man or a woman, are saying it's not all men. Yes, it is. That cop, part of the problem.
Absolutely. That to me is like, oh, so you subscribe.
Right, exactly. That's all that tells me, is you're into this. Because a normal person with a normal functioning brain would be like, I'm so sorry for what you have to watch. I'm so sorry for what you have to endure. And looking in this, if you need anything after this, please let us know. But we do need to make sure that you can identify yourself here. Even if she was sleeping, right, or even faking sleeping, it's not okay.
Raping her.
Right.
Like, that piece is the most disturbing part of the whole story. It's hard for a victim to get believed or to even have evidence recognized for what it is.
Victim blaming. That's what a lot of people do, is victim blame.
Well, there's also another case here. Giselle Pillicot. And she's a French woman from France. And at the center of this case, she was wildly described as a retired grandma, a wife, and a mother whose life appeared ordinary. She had been married to Dominique for decades. They shared children, grandkids, and by public accounts appeared to have the kind of long established family like many would view as stable. Again, memory gaps, unusual fatigue. And at the time, those were not publicly framed as a sign of assault. Only later would they be viewed differently. Over 9 years, Dominique secretly drugged his wife, allegedly rendering her unconscious. He raped her, invited dozens of men to their home, which is even worse than the other guy. Filmed and photographed the assault, and then preserved extensive evidence, which means he must have taped the shit out of this.
He was taping it and probably took her clothes. This is probably one of the worst ones. They're all bad, but
of course,
letting dozens of people come to your home and also assault your wife.
Right. Thousands of images and videos. I could never imagine waking up one day and finding that out. Like, it's a mind fuck. Now, obviously, he was detained in a separate incident, including filming women in a supermarket.
This is a sick fuck that just needs to be put to death immediately. There's no helping that.
Right. And that also led the police to do and inspect other devices. And that's when they found the material that exposed everything. Now, that moment, Giselle learned it all. Like, she was shown the evidence. Imagine. She also realized the unconscious woman was like, those are images of her. Authorities reportedly identified 50 additional men linked to assault.
50 men you let rape your wife. Like, what a sick fuck.
And they were like varying from ordinary workers, professionals, married men, fathers, retirees, of course. That detail deeply unsettles the public, but also me.
Me too. Everybody, anybody who's even going to listen to this is going to deeply disturb anybody.
Now, the trial opened in France in 2024, and Giselle made the decision that made her internationally known. She decided not to remain anonymous. Good for you.
Exactly. No matter what this person did to you, you are still you. And you are still going to fight for your own justice for yourself.
She wanted a public trial. And damn, girl, you did just that. She said, in essence, shame should not change sides. And that is exactly true. They turned the trial into something much bigger than a criminal proceeding. And Dominic was convicted and sentenced to 20 years. I think he deserved life.
20 years? That is nothing. That's bullshit.
Right. And he did this to her for 9 years.
Life without parole. Death row. Death row.
Right. And then all 50 co-defendants also convicted of rape, attempted rape, and a sexual assault. That alone made legal history.
I mean, it's great, but did they all get the same deal, only 20 years?
I've got to share this because, wow. The sentencing for these 50 co-defendants ranged from 3 years to 15 years. 2 men received 3 years for aggravated assault. 2 men received 5 to 6 years for attempted rape convictions. And most of the other convicted aggravated rape and received 5 to 15 years. Some sentences included suspended portions. Many people felt that they were way too lenient, and I don't disagree with that.
Their sentencing should have been way harsher than it was. In fact, all of them should be on death row, prison, without parole, because the second you're looking at these videos and doing this kind of stuff, there's something wrong with you, and you should not get off scot-free. If we had harsher punishments for this kind of thing, it wouldn't be happening.
You are so right about that, and I agree. And it's not just bad men on the internet. It is a combination of abusive inside marriages and relationships. Filming and uploading that abuse. I did want to point out that I went on Reddit. Reddit is like a dark place. It really is. I only go on there when I need to do some deep dives and I don't have enough information. I went looking and I found a thread of a lot of men on the internet are nervous because, well, they're putting it out there from their side. Oh, well, it's a porn site and it covers all subjects, all fetishes, and that part is only small. Although I do believe the number is not exactly the 62 million, but I do believe that there are categories under this site that are really sick. And we will also be exposing, like barely legal, incest, all of the disgusting things that people think are fine and normal.
That's the problem with society, right? Is people are trying to normalize things that are not normal. And that's what is really scary. Pushing child marriages, pushing incest, raping your wife. Like, they're like, nah, these things are fine. These things are normal. And it's not all videos. Like, when you say stuff like, it's not all videos and it's not all men and all these phrases, you're dehumanizing people and you're taking away what someone else went through and the horrific terror that they endured. Like somebody just said, well, I made a touchdown yesterday.
Yeah,
like,
fuck it. I did this. Well, before we get into the Q&A section, I did want to talk about ways to protect yourself as much as you can in a situation involving this, because this is not an easy one to figure out. First and foremost, trust patterns and not just isolated incidents. If there's something that just feels off, waking up with multiple injuries, I would take that seriously. And if anything else, set up your own camera. Pay attention to routines involving food, drinks, and medication. Don't ignore it. Investigate.
Also look for patterns as well. Like, say you're going to go make yourself tea and the person's like, no, let me make it for you. Let me make it for you. If they are too eager to make you food or drinks, there's something wrong there.
Good point. Keep a written record, document dates, symptoms, injuries, old events, pictures. Even simple notes can help reveal patterns you might otherwise second guess. Tell someone you trust. And I know that a lot of people go, listen, I do that, my family will lose their shit. But you just explain like what you're feeling and hopefully they can help you. You can trust somebody, just not anyone in their circle. Tends to get a little messy. Even if you trust them wholeheartedly, just that extra step. Listen to your body. If something feels impaired, confused, or physically unwell, get to a safe place and seek medical help quickly. Maintain access to your phone, identification, transportation, money. Have a safety plan. Know where to go. Know who to call. Have a code word where somebody you trust can help. If you believe something serious may be happening, reach out to a professional advocate, medical provider, or even law enforcement rather than trying to confront this person because it could potentially become dangerous to you or your family. You do not need absolute proof to take steps to protect yourself. Let's get into some of these questions because they are a little intense.
First question here. What is being hidden behind the public face of this website that people do not understand?
That not only is this piece being hidden, but there are also options of men raping women, men killing women, snuff films raping children, raping elderly, raping gay people, raping trans, raping immigrants. There is a fetish for everything. And I feel like all of those things are being hidden. Underage sexual assault to children.
So who's involved? Is this much bigger than one platform?
Absolutely. I feel like, honestly, this kind of shit connects to like Epstein related energy, that level. Billionaires are involved, like the people that own motherless.com. They know. They're keeping that shit on the DL. They engage in it. There are many billionaires from many different companies that, if exposed, would fuck up their entire life.
Is money, corruption, or influence helping this continue?
Absolutely. Not only is it keeping everything alive, but I feel like money is also an influence as to why things are staying quiet, like always.
Are people in positions of power who know more than they've admitted?
Oh, yeah, of course. So many. In fact, even the people doing the investigation are tippy-toeing and being told from upper people not to investigate this, that, and the other, and just to keep it light and only go after the people that are submitting videos rather than the corporation itself that's allowing this to happen, which is also not good.
Are there victims who do not even know they were filmed or uploaded?
I mean, unfortunately, so many. I keep getting this really sick feeling from every state, honestly, that a lot of women that are raped, and not just the ones that are murdered. I'm referencing just the rape victims in general, and that happens even more often than the murder victims happen, at least at the beginning. I see that a lot of these women's rapes get uploaded. People are wearing cameras on them now, sharing. It's like an artwork for them. It's like something that they have to put out there, and people go years and years, if all ever, knowing that this stuff is out there. It's disgusting.
Will more survivors begin discovering that they were exploited this way?
Yes. I feel like although this investigation is going to take a long ass time and a lot of red tape, but I do feel like more survivors are going to come forward and share their story, and in addition to that, put themselves out there in a scary way, but also very powerful.
Will arrests expand beyond direct uploaders to people who enabled or hosted or financed or protected this?
Not at first. In fact, I feel like a lot of the people watching this particular content right as of now will receive nothing, which is unfortunate. But about 5, 10, maybe even 15 years from now, they're already significantly searching through porn sites, and a lot of porn site stuff is going to get called out. We will eventually have charges against people that are technically watching inappropriate, illegal porn.
Is there someone inside these circles who is close to exposing much more?
There is, but there isn't. There's some good guys within like the FBI, and there are some good guys within Interpol and other countries. And this is not just the US, this is just governments in general, every state, every country, every province, whatever the case may be. And they stop investigations from carrying on because they don't want to expose themselves or their buddies. It's sad.
Now, does this type of scandal ultimately bring down only one website, or does it expose an entire ecosystem?
It is going to expose everything and everyone eventually.
If this had 62 million visitors in 1 month, how many people knew, and how many people looked away, and how many people participated?
Okay, 62 million is a pretty high number, but I'm going to say, for whatever reason, 166,000 keeps like registering in my brain. So I'd say 166,000 people that month decided to go look at that type of porn, and not including anything else illegal.
Now, who are the people creating and uploading this kind of material? Are they opportunists, repeat offenders, organized actors, or do you think it's a mix?
So many different things. Bored men at home that are having a hard time getting it up. Their wife doesn't want to have sex with them. They're tired. They're not interested in sex. They don't feel good anymore. They take things in their own hands, and they're like, well, I can do this because we're married and she belongs to me. The average Joe, honestly. And a lot of men that put this out there are kind of showing, hey, look, your wife doesn't want to have sex with you anymore. Here is what to do. And they're going to get interested. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, since he says that it's okay, that she's my wife and she belongs to me, that I should be able to get some. It's part of our marriage contract. So yeah, I feel like it's everyone.
Discussing. Now, who are the people recruiting others to these kinds of spaces?
Unfortunately, I don't feel like there's like a lot of recruiting in the sense of like normal people. I think it's algorithm, kind of like TikTok. Like if I'm watching sourdough bread, it's going to just keep on coming, sourdough bread, sourdough bread, sourdough bread. This is the same thing here. If you're into any type of snuff type of energy, you're going to get shown something. Oh, well, if you're into murdering women, well, then you're definitely into, medicating and raping them too.
I guess I'd have to agree with that. Now, how many people know more than they've said because they fear exposure themselves?
So many. Cops included. Cops, doctors, pharmacists, everyone. And think about it too. Like, if you have a position of power, like if you're a cop, you can make evidence go away. If you're a doctor, you can have access to as much medicine as you want. You're giving out samples. They don't count that. You can take those samples home yourself. You can just say, oh yeah, I gave my samples off to, Lindy Sue over here. You have access to so many resources. So of course you're going to take advantage of that. And I believe it's a whole network of multiple different people with multiple different lives.
Are there going to be insiders who may end up becoming witnesses?
Eventually, I believe that there will be like a big whistleblower, a couple of whistleblowers that will come forward and take a lesser charge to get the big fish. Before we end this episode, I do want to mention as well that I believe that this is just the very beginning. There's going to be a lot more exposed, a lot more women coming forward. There's even going to be, this is what I see, this really scary one, where this man is raping his mother-in-law, his wife, his daughter, and even as far as a grandchild, all in the same household, that will end up being exposed as well. And I think that one will really hit the fan. But there's a lot, and they're keeping it quiet because there's a lot of details that are sensitive subjects at the moment. But just keep in mind that this is going to grow significantly. This is going to get to like Epstein level energy.
Yikes.
I appreciate you guys being here with Landen and I. This was a really tough conversation. I'm so glad we did it though. We will be back again for Artemis 2. That
Can't
is
wait for that one.
right. I love it. We're going to talk about what is to come with Artemis 3 and that journey and all of the questions people keep asking about what's going on in space. And a lot of people think that this is some sort of fake Florida Universal Studios or also Hollywood Studios. We've got a lot to talk about.
I mean, a lot of people don't believe in the moon landing.
I mean, that's true too. As always, it's
Us against everything.